Hey guys! So I just wanted to kind of establish this is my vlog. I've already posted one video without really saying anything, but this is my vlog, so I just figured I should have some kind of, introduction or something. I don't really know. I've never really done this before, so yeah, this is my vlog. And I basically think it's mostly going to be me talking about music since I do a lot of covers, and I feel like that's what I should talk about. But I also will probably cover some other random things, but I think it's mostly going to be music. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to set anything in stone just yet. But actually, today I figured a good topic was dubstep, because I feel like dubstep has become really popular recently. It's been around since the 90s, I believe. But I don't feel like it's become that popular until now, basically, well, past few years. I didn't really start getting into dubstep till last year, and it's kind of one of those things, some people feel like, oh, it's not music, they're not really musicians, they're just making noise with computers. I really have to disagree, though. I love dubstep, and I don't know, I've always had a pretty wide range of music that I like. Basically the only genre of music that I don't like is country, with the exception of Johnny Cash, but to me that he's in his own category anyway, so, anyway, back to dubstep. So, I feel like it is music. I think it's new. Well, obviously it's new, but it's one of those things, I feel like it's almost when rock and roll started becoming popular, all of the older generation, was like, oh, this isn't music, what are you kids listening to? And I know today there's plenty of young people who don't like dubstep, so I know it's not just, older people that don't get it, or don't like it. I shouldn't say don't get it, some people are allowed to have their opinions, but, I don't know, I personally love it, and I think I'm really excited to hear more of it and see if it evolves into anything else, because I just don't know how these things happen. I feel like I would never be able to imagine something like dubstep before it existed, so it makes me feel excited for other new music that could possibly emerge in the future. And that's it. That, speaking of future, that's one of the things I really like about dubstep. I feel like it has a futuristic vibe to it, which I like. I've always been into movies and books and stories about the future. I actually recently just watched Metropolis the other day, which is a silent film. I think it was made in the late 20s or 30s or something like that. But the version I watched was the 1984 version, which had this kind of pop culture-y vibe to it, and almost like an Andy Warhol feeling. They did all these color things, these, I can't explain, and they set it to 80s music, which I thought it was really good. I liked it. But anyway, the point is, it was, futuristic. It's supposed to be, a dark, futuristic world, and the Metropolis, I don't know. See, I ramble, I go on rants, I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone who actually decides to watch this, I'm sorry. But, anyway, my point is, that's part of what I like about dubstep, is that I feel like it's, futuristic. I feel like it's just cool, I like it. And another thing I really like about it is I always want to dance to dubstep. Some certain music, I'm not gonna lie, I don't always want to, dance to the Beatles or, Elton John. I don't know if you can really dance to Elton John, but I love them, I do, but it doesn't get me out of my seat all the time, Dubstep, I love dancing to dubstep, and I get so excited, and if I'm in a club or something, and they start playing dubstep, I get so excited. I love it. And, yeah, so, what else is there to say? Oh, well, this is kind of a subcategory that I want to talk about, Skrillex. I love Skrillex, and I feel bad in a way, because I feel bad for him almost, well, I shouldn't say I feel bad for him, he's famous and is probably a millionaire, but the thing that bothers me is I feel like people are starting to hate on him because he's popular and mainstream, and I'm just why do you all have to be hipsters? If he was underground, you guys would think he was the coolest, most amazing dubstep person ever, but because he's popular, you're just not gonna like him now? Like, come on. I mean, I don't know. I think he's really good, and I think he's a genius, to be honest. I love Skrillex, and that's my opinion on him. But I'm not saying, like, I don't want to sound like I'm just one of those people that I only know Skrillex. When I get obsessed about something like dubstep, I go all out. Like, I stay up till like 3 in the morning every night looking for songs, and so I've come across some, like, I don't know if they're obscure, I don't really know, but I feel like I've come across some not as well known people, but I get confused sometimes too, because I'm like, I can't tell if this is the artist or if this is some other remix. Like, that's one thing that bothers me, is when there's all these remixes remastered and all this, like, featuring blah blah blah. I'm like, sometimes I get confused as to who the actual artist is, so that kind of annoys me a little bit. And that's not just with dubstep, it's with, like, you know, just house music, like things like that. But yeah, so I don't know. What was I going to say? I feel like there's something else that I'm not saying that I had in mind. I don't know. I just think dubstep's really cool. And yeah, and I feel like, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I can see why people don't like it, why some people might not like it, and it's just not their cup of tea, you know, I get it. But it bothers me when people say it's not music. Well, it doesn't really bother me, but I just feel like that's kind of unfair. Like, it is music, I think. Yeah. Well, I think that's all there is to say. Actually, there's probably a lot more to say, but I just can't think of anything. And I don't want to trail on like an idiot, so I'm just gonna stop here. And if anybody watched this, thank you. I'm glad that you have an interest in what I have to say. So yeah, I guess check back for more videos. And thank you for watching. Bye.